Hey guys, I thought that I'll do this quick video on personal care, and that happens to be one of the next ideas of sustainable living. We use our body lotions, we use our moisturizers, our face creams, our soaps every day, every single day. It's more or less like a habit. And even if it means that, even if we do not have a skincare regime, we definitely have at least one product. Come on, tell me that you have at least one product. So there's at least one product that we use on a daily basis to look after our skin. Now the thing is that these different products, they advertise and they talk about them being either natural or them having certain ingredients which are going to make our skin smooth. So there's always this USP, unique selling proposition, that is always advertised. For instance, this little bottle that I have, it talks about oil and lotion, cocoa nourish, long lasting nourishment. So when I look at this bottle, I immediately think, it's going to have a lot of cocoa butter in it. But if I look at the ingredient list, it is it is placed, it's the sixth or the seventh ingredient, and maybe even after, because there's a lot of fine text here. The labels, the ingredients, the way they are mentioned here, they're in descending order. So the ones at the top are of the maximum quantity in the composition, and one the last are the least in the composition. So if it's sitting somewhere in the middle or maybe later, which means it hardly has any cocoa butter, and most of it, considering the price, it would be synthetic. It also says perfume in it, which means it has a lot of synthetic fragrance, which is added to mimic cocoa butter in it. So the thing is that the skin is the largest organ of our body. Everything that we put on our skin, at least 70% of it, is absorbed by the skin. And there's been a lot of research, there's a lot of research going on how these ingredients are impacting our wellness and well-being, and not just our own wellness and well-being, but also the environment. So typically what you would see on the labels is it would be the ingredients would usually be your natural ingredients. They would be nature derived ingredients, naturally occurring ingredients, or they would be nature identical ingredients or synthetic ingredients. So naturally occurring ingredients are ingredients which are added as is. For example, your crushed flowers are a very good example. Then your oils, they're very very good examples. But even with the oils, they would mostly be your nature derived ingredient, because they would go through a certain process, whether it's physical or it's chemical. So physical would be your cold pressed oils, right? And if it's chemical, it would be a hydrogenated oil, like a castor wax, right? Wherein the molecular structure of the castor oil is changed to become a wax. So it would be nature derived and then nature processed. And then there would be your nature identical, wherein these are ingredients which are manufactured in the labs, and they are created to mimic natural ingredients. Say, for example, your flavorings or your fragrances, certain fragrances. So, especially in the food business or in the food items, you would see nature identical flavorings, especially when you look at juices, jams, jellies, and so on. And then there would be colors that would be added. And so, yeah, these are nature identical ingredients. And then there are synthetic ones like preservatives or perfumes and fragrances, which have nothing to do with natural ingredients. They're just okay. So, and then comes the labeling. So in the labeling, you would see, some products would claim to be natural, some would claim to be organic, then some would have these certifications like EcoCert and Cosmos or Leaping Bunny and so on. So when it comes to labels, there is no specific regulation on, what should be the composition of a particular product or ingredients in order for it to be called a specific way. So if your favorite brand is claiming that we are a natural body lotion, then it's very likely there's only 5% of natural ingredients in it, and the rest of it is synthetic or nature identical. And there is also a possibility that if it says natural, there could be 75% or to 80% of the ingredients could be your natural ingredients, naturally occurring, nature derived ingredients in it. But how do you tell? You tell by reading the ingredient list. That's why it becomes very difficult. Remember, the devil is in the details. God is also in the details. Plus, all of these ingredients are put into a product for a certain function. So the function could be to enhance the absorption of the other ingredients. The function could be a binding function, meaning there are these different ingredients which could be of different characteristics, like there'll be oils and water, and there would be your butters, and then there would be these fragrances, essential oils, and so on, for all of them to come together and work together. So then you have binders, then you have surfactants, meaning to ensure that everything is very nicely and evenly spreading, there's less tension, and also for cleansing. Then you have moisture locking, or ingredients that create a certain film on the skin, so that whatever has been put on the skin remains in the skin and does not escape in the atmosphere, in the environment or air. Then there are ingredients which are to fix or to regenerate the skin. So they have healing properties. Then there are ingredients which are put to add moisture to the skin. So there are these different functions that each ingredient has, and because of which they're added in a particular product. So if I have to look at this particular bottle, I am not going to give you the brand name, sorry. So if I have to look at this particular bottle, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 20 ingredients in this bottle. And the first one is aqua. So most of these body lotions especially are created with water. So water is your purified water. And then it has glycerin, it has it has isohexadecane, then it has paraffinum, liquidum, trisodium EDTA, ethyl paraben, methyl paraben, phenoxyethanol. It also has perfume. Now the thing is that while there are ingredients which are okay to use, there are a lot of ingredients in it which are synthetic ingredients which are derived from petroleum, and which are also linked to non-reproductive system toxicity in humans. In fact, the parabens which are used in these, they're evidently linked to being endocrine disruptors in humans, and also disruptors of wildlife and environment. And that's one of the reasons you would see a lot of products which these days claim paraben free, right? And that's the main reason. Also, most of the other ingredients that I'm reading here have non-reproductive system toxicity linkages, and they're irritants. And imagine, with all of this, we have ingredients which help with the absorption, increasing the absorption or porosity of the skin. Wow, isn't that wonderful? So I think it makes sense to look at what we are putting on our skin and what we're absorbing on a daily basis. If we're eating healthy, if we're trying to live a healthy lifestyle, if we're worrying about the environment, I think it makes sense to worry about ourselves too. And not to say, also, I just wanted to mention that this particular bottle, it's not expensive at all. It's less than $100. However, this particular product is more than $1,000. And unfortunately, a lot of the chemicals that I saw on this little bottle are also there on this bottle of toner. Do spend some time researching more. Just pick one bottle which is there in your cupboard or in your cabinet, or from your skincare regime, and just spend 10 minutes looking up the ingredient, especially the ingredients which say paraben in the end, or which you think are petroleum derived, or have phthalates in them. Please spend some time doing that. It's not just about the toxicity in the body, it's also about the toxicity that we're sending in the waterways and the landfills on using personal care products such as these. I think we deserve better, and so does the environment. Thank you. Bye-bye.